Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Market Report. I am Army Piper. We got a little bit of a mix here of green and red this morning. Volatility playing out big time. Overall, though, on the daily, we do have some movement to the upside. A lot of volatility today, guys. VIX index sitting at 19.38 right now. Matter of fact, I'll show you that. It's right there. Right there. Sitting at 19.38%. So we are hitting above that 17 window, but overall markets are still holding in the green this morning. A lot of volatility, playing hell on traders. That's what's going. So, guys, we got a lot to break down today, but we're going to talk about this beautiful chart right here. We're going to talk about this bad boy. It's all around me today. We're going to take a look at this $1 trillion AI deal and where can we place some money at to get some returns off of this. How can we get in? How can we get in on this $1 trillion? We're going to take a look at all that today, talk about it, watch a little video, and a whole lot more on the Morning Market Report. You guys know what time it is. Get your notebooks out. Alexander G, I know you got your Trapper Keeper. Get your Trapper Keeper out. Start taking notes, guys. You know what time it is. Class is in session. I'll see you on the other side. Let's go. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Market Report here on the Piper Academy Network. I appreciate you guys all joining us here as of every day. It's brought to you by Chart Prime, the only trusted indicator suite in the business. There's no one out there, no one else. There might be some, but they're not as good. And they're not going to give you all of the 28 hours of classes and OC guy and, oh, whoa, tinfoil hats, OC guy, and all of that stuff. So OC, geez, Louise, dude, what are you doing, man? I popped in. At least you weren't Super Saiyan, dude. I was like, what's going on?
You're right. I got it right back there. I just was getting prepared because for you to talk about me, because you said, hey, we're gonna be talking about this that is all over me today. So yeah, I just was preparing.
Oh Lord. Oh Lord. This guy.
Just kidding.
How you doing today, man?
I'm preparing my dad jokes. I'm preparing my dad jokes just in case.
What?
Just
OC?
No, just kidding. I'm still a big lover of dad jokes, but that's been my whole life. But yeah.
All right, don't be like popping like surprise things on this like right in the middle of a show that I didn't know about. Like, is there a baby OC coming? Guys, put a one in the chat if you think we need to have a baby OC on this planet. Do we need a baby OC on this planet? Is that too much for us? He would swaddle his baby in tinfoil. That's what would happen. Let's go give a shout out to the chat. Got everybody in here. We got Robert Mulligan, JR is in here, Alexander G. OC might be a pop-up. No, that's just a rumor. That's just a rumor. Mr. C is in here with us. Alexander G, dropping that link there for Chart Prime. Get 45% off your first month. Appreciate you, lady. BC Port Corp. Hey, I'm doing a show at BC on Saturday. Looks like some other people may be rolling in on that show also. Maybe Billy from Billy Goat Tales, Crypto Billy. And looks like maybe LBC will be coming in on that. But we're going to be talking about the fiat system and how broken it is. So make sure you guys are tuning in on that because we're going to have a lot of conspiracy. BC and I talked yesterday for like an hour and we were just throwing back and forth about debate on the US dollar and where it's actually at. So it's going to be good. You guys need to tune in on that. I'm sure BC will be posting a link everywhere for that. And so will I. I'll be pushing it out too. Make sure you guys pay attention to that. Hit those notification bells so you get notified every time. If you're not subscribed to BC Port Corp, it's going to be on his channel. So we're going to be going over there for that on Saturday. Chris Wrights is in the house with us. We've got Donato Cabrera in here. Mike Play. CJ Taylor saying good morning, everybody. It's my bro out there in North Carolina. What's up, Clyde? How you doing, man? Let's see. Who else we got? Do we got anybody else? Crypto Coin Mindset. Keith, we're going to be redirecting over to Crypto Coin Mindset this morning with Trade Intuition and Keith. And I saw Trade Intuition drop in here also with the thumbs up. He said, like smashed. I got it. Anybody else? Steve Hickey. We're going to talk about Steve Hickey's question too. He asked a question about what we think about this $15 billion seizure of Bitcoin. Are you tracking this, OC?
No, I'm not.
Yeah, some CG something from Cambodia. It was from the pig pit butcher hack back in the day. Yeah, the U.S. just seized like $15 billion in Bitcoin off of that. And there's a lot of speculation going on about it that people are saying that hey, they went into the wallets and took this stuff. Like, what the hell? I got some info for you. I got some info for you. Shh. We'll talk about how they got that, and will it be going back to the victims, or are they going to hold it, or what is the DOJ going to do with all that? So, I was walking with coffee, you sneaky rib master. What's up, Hart? How you doing, man? Yeah. All right. Let's go ahead. Let's go check out Bitcoin OC. Talk about what's going on that chart, and then we'll get into the news. We got a lot of move today, a lot of news to go through today. So let's get in on that chart and let's see what it looks like.
Absolutely. So jumping into Bitcoin chart really quickly. I mean, we're on the same areas that we've been into it. As you can see, remember we were talking about a possible fair value gap in here, which we actually went come back in and filled it up, right? 50% on that fair value gap, looking for that little short. It did happen. We are into a range at this point, in something that I'm not liking at all. And to be honest, not at all. Look at how low volume this is, especially to the upside, right? This also starts creating something that resembles me, like or seems like to be creating like a neckline, right? Not only a neckline. If we go to the patterns here and we go for this one in here, we might be seeing, and I know it's not perfect, but this is kind of like a starting to look like, there you go, look at this, like a head and shoulders pattern, right? So this is a little bit
I
concerning
thought
on my
that
end.
too.
Or
Absolutely thought that
yeah,
too, bro.
and forming right below dynamic reactor, forming right below a flood pulse bearish continuation. This is not cool, bro. And something that actually kind of like worries me, when we had these kind of patterns before, the actual push tends to be even higher than the measured move to the downside. So we'll see. Let's bring up a couple of support resistances that we had. But very interesting. Look at this. We have a big, big, big support right down here. There we go. Where we have also an alert 103, right? As the measure move finished, that would actually make sense. There we go. For the areas that we are having or that we are looking into for possible entries just for saving. Right. And not only that, that also creates a base, or that also gets where the base of this average support and resistance is at, right? So far, so good. This is not a premonition, guys. I mean, we still need to trade it day and day. And let's go for some support and resistance before we start selling some stuff up, right? The first support is going to come at 109, as we have seen before, right? 107, 109. That's going to be our first support. And then the next area, as we have measured, look at this, in between 103, 102, and 100K. So hopefully we get that 100K. That actually would make me very, very happy. And let's bring up another more clean chart of Bitcoin in here. And that will make me very, very happy, because that will have a big enough rejection or retraction for a further continuation upwards. So I think we'll be into a pickle if we start losing the 106, 100K, right? If we start losing this area right here, I will be concerned. But other than that, I think we're still doing all right. I still that we're still cooking the next movement to the upside. And let me bring you to the previous head and shoulder that we had that way, if I can find it. All right, so here's one. And this is what happened, right? Coming back down, one shoulder, one head, and coming down and up for the next shoulder right here. Well, that's what we had a pullback up, right? I know I mentioned that before, the movement tend to be very dramatic, but also want to show you that this is not 100% written down, right? We can see a couple of other stuff, like if I can clear this up, let me go to the daily really quickly. There it is. And onto the daily, what I want to go for, it is my Prime Oscillator Pro right here. And very interesting, look at that. We're having a couple of those green areas, right? So we have one or two bars in here, and then we're getting another couple of bars. I want to guys show you that. I mean, we can still do something like this, right? When we go back up and down. So that's what I might be looking into. And look at this, a loud order block right there on 100K all the way to 98. So not losing this area would be key. Loud order blocks or order blocks in general tend to be a little bit magnetic. So we'll see how that rolls because I'm pretty excited to have this pull back down. That will create something like, a sweep of the lows, right? And then we can bounce from it. We are ready for the next impulse. And if we get that next impulse, I'm pretty convinced, all right, that we might have some heavy institutional money being pushed in here in the form of ETF buy-ups. So that's what I think. That's what I got also on Bitcoin. Let me throw it back to you, Piper.
Awesome. Shout out to Kelly Kelliphant. She's in the house with this. Heart dropped in here. Also, Dusty Hunt, Baba Yaz, all joining us here. Appreciate all of you guys. Kelly said, wow, this market is moving. Absolutely, it is. The volatility is real today, guys. So let's go jump in on the news. We got a lot of stuff to break down over there. We'll get in through the news, and then we'll come back, take a look at what's going on with the charts. We'll talk about some higher time frame on Bitcoin. I think there's some things you guys need to be aware of there. Let me do that. There we go. Cool. All right, taking a look here, guys, at the Into the Cryptoverse metrics today. There's a link down below if you guys want to get this stuff, but yeah, well worth it. We've got crypto market cap, total crypto market cap right now sitting at $3.8 trillion. The trend line on this is at 4.506 trillion. We're currently undervalued almost 16%, guys, on the crypto market cap. Again, we came close to that median line there and then rejected down. So looking at the current risk levels right now on Bitcoin, this did hit yesterday down to 0.499, and that is a 3x DCA. I did not dollar cost average then. I'm actually waiting. I think we get a lower level to buy this week for this week's DCA. That is the Piper plan over in our Discord. If you're a member on here, you have access. Make sure you get over there and check it out. But right now, we're at a 50.2% risk band. That is a 2x right now. Looking at Bitcoin dominance, currently sitting at 58.63% with stablecoins. Take away those stablecoins, guys. We'll close back in on 64%. Bitcoin dominance continuing to hold in a really strong range there. How about altcoin season? How are we looking there? We're sitting at 60. We're about 15 points off from being back into altcoin season. Looks like altcoin season on pause for a while right now. If ever. There you go. I'll say it for you. Hey, bring back my ticker. Bring back the ticker. There we go. Thank you. Let's go look at the liquidations in the past 24 hours. Looking at that, past 24 hours, we've had about $415 million get wrecked there total, guys. 144,937 traders got liquidated for $415 million total liquidation amount. Largest single liquidation was an ETH trade on Binance for $11.99 million. We'll just call it a cool $12 million there. Let's look at the Into the Cryptoverse. I got to check, or X marks the spot. I got to check. Okay, we do have a new one. This thing was 8 hours. Look, 9 hours ago, and then they normally put these things out like every 4 hours. I think they were waiting to see if it got out of fear. No, it did not. We're currently sitting right now at a 34 in fear right now on the fear and greed index for Bitcoin. Let's go down here and take a look. Let's get rid of that one because that one's old now. Let's go look at this Ethereum fear and greed. It's sitting at 40 in neutral right now. We're back. We're back. Let's create this poll and drop that in there. Let's create this poll and drop that in there. Balance your blood in the next 2 weeks, and we're going to put 125K and we're going to do 100K. There we go. We'll start this poll here. See what you guys think on that poll. It's in there. It's in there. You guys go vote. I'm just curious. Yeah, and they're back. So yeah, he had this poll going here, 125K, 65% are bullish on this. And that's what I wanted to point out. It's not about people being right or wrong. I just want to see the sentiment. And the sentiment is right now that we will return to near the all-time high instead of 100K. And I think we actually see 100K. You see, that's what I voted for there. Stock market, this is yesterday, guys. If you weren't tracking what happened, another tweet came out from good old President Trump. Guess when? At market close on the first day of the week, or well, Tuesday, Monday, market was open, but we didn't have a full market open. treasuries and stuff like that were not available. So yesterday on Tuesday, when the majority of people are back to work for the federal holiday Monday, what does he do? Market close, another tweet on China, and the market erased $450 billion in 7 minutes because President Trump threatened to start producing cooking oil in the U.S. I can't make this up. Bull market is heading for its 4th anniversary. Let's talk about that. The S&P index began its current bull run on October 12, 2022, surging 85% since, adding $28 trillion in market value. By comparison, of the 13 prior bull markets since World War II, 7 completed a 4th year. So 7 bull markets out of 13 made it to a 4th year point, and that's where we are now. Excuse me, with an average total gain of 88%. Historical data suggests that the market still has room to run. Since 1950, 7 bull markets have reached their 4th year, delivering an average return of 12.8% after that. The strongest 4th year performance came in 1957 and 1972, with gains of 28.4% and 29.7%, respectively. Can AI fuel another 12 months of solid gains? We'll see. We'll see. I think it is possible, but it's going to depend a lot on the macro side and tweets, Mr. President. Big question on gold and silver, guys. Continuing to run up today. Gold broke $4,200. We'll take a look at that here in a little bit. What are gold and silver really telling us? Gold and silver are now up more than 4 times the S&P in 2025. That is, gold and silver are massively outperforming risk assets during a bull run in those same risky assets. When safe havens are rallying with risky assets, it tells you one thing: confidence in fiat currency is eroding. And that's what I've talked about this whole year, is the US dollar is getting absolutely torn up. And while deficit spending and rate cuts into stagflation, there it is again, are major drivers of the sentiment shift, we believe there is more to it. The market is pricing in record levels of AI capex and what will inevitably become an AI war between the US and China. That was in that AI 2027 video that I dropped for you guys all recently. And also it is it's right in line with the topic that we're going to talk about today, this $1 trillion AI industry and how we can get into that. The U.S. will print more money and drive deficits higher with the sole purpose of winning the AI revolution. Gold and silver aren't just becoming more valuable. Confidence in fiat currency is absolutely collapsing. And then there's some of the companies that you will see today that are on some of this list. And you'll also see some of these precious metals and where they come into play. It has to do with the data center. Shout out to LBC. He's got some stuff on that. So let's go take a look at the stock market, and we'll see what we got here. Dow Jones, S&P, NASDAQ, Russell 2K, all slightly upward in the green today. Well, pretty decent. Actually, 1% plus on most of them, except for the Dow Jones. The volatility index sitting at 19.22. But let's check this out. Bonds market, 10-year yield coming down, getting down to that 4.0. Will I head down to the 3s? We will have to see what's going on with that. But look at gold, guys. Gold up to $4,221 right now, up 1.4% on the daily. Silver sitting at $51.57, up 1.87%. Copper sitting just slightly in the green. Platinum and palladium both just slightly under 1% to the upside, but still in the green for the day. Treasury Secretary Bessent talking about the China U.S. Tariff and trade war going on. He says the stock market decline will not deter the U.S. from taking strong action against China. So if you guys are wondering, is he going to keep just crashing the market and what's going to happen with this? At this point, they don't really have that as a signal on their charts, guys, at all. All they're really looking at is the outcome of the U.S. and China trade war. They don't care if it wrecks the markets a little bit. That's not a concern really in their heads at all. So Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent insisted on Wednesday that the U.S. won't change its trade negotiation stance just due to stock market volatility. So I think that we will see that volatility is here for a while, guys. That's going to be the main point. Looking at the crypto bubbles here, Bitcoin right now flat on the daily, a little bit of a pullback there. It is up slightly on the hourly, but if we hadn't got this in the last hour, we would be in the negative right now. Ethereum is up 2.3%. XRP is up 1.8%. BNB is down 1.1% on the daily. Big movers. Let's go see. Anybody? Nope. 1 to 2%, 3% for Litecoin. No real big movers. Monero, we got some privacy tokens moving up to the upside here, 5.7%. But that's what Zcash does too. And guess what? It's up 7.2%. So it looks like we are seeing some fast moving dailies here, giving some decent pumps on some privacy tokens. But look at Chain Opera AI, guys, up 136%. Don't know anything about this thing. Be very careful if you're going to chase it. So, but yeah, it's Chain Opera up a lot, up a ton. What about the government shutdown? Is it going to end anytime soon? It's a great question. Probably not. We're looking at 11% chance right now is our first high point of likelihood. That's going to be October 23rd through the 26th. And then October 27th through the 30th is 13%. But the biggest percentage, guys, is still sitting past November 16th. Is this the new norm for the United States? A government shutdown forever, and that's it. So, who knows? Who knows? I think BC is okay with that. We had a talk about that yesterday. We were talking about, look, government shutdown is fine until you want your privacy right, your property rights, right? Then we have an issue. And he goes, the state can take that over. And I said, I don't think you understand, BC, what that means for the states, because the states are going to have more expenses now. A lot of the things that the federal government does, like maintaining roads and stuff like that, they get monetization. They get subsidiary funds. They get subsidized by the federal government, which makes things cheaper for us in our states. And he said, yeah, well, the states pick it up and we have to pay more. Where are we going to pay for that? I ain't got no more money. You got more money? Let me know in the chat. Do you guys have more money for the state to raise all your taxes and start charging you to maintain things that the federal government does? Is that a fair trade-off for you? The federal government just stayed closed and states picked up all of the state powers and the fees that come with it. Let me know in the chat. I'd like to know what you guys think. BC has nukes. You heard it here first. I'd rather help local than instead of Fed. I agree. I just don't think people have enough money to afford that in this current state of the economy. So let's go back to gravel roads. Robert Mulligan said, "I'll be okay with that. I'll be okay until a rock pops up and breaks my windshield every other day." 30-year mortgage rate, guys, did have a fall down this morning. Yesterday, I talked about this. I said very likely. I said if I had to guess, I think that we see a lower mortgage rate based on the recent 10-year yields. And yeah, we're looking at 6.42. It came down slightly. It was slightly lower. So 30-year fixed rate mortgage getting a little bit of a drop there for you, but not much. New York State Empire, though, New York Empire State Manufacturing. This was pretty interesting, guys. We were at negative 8.7. Consensus and forecast was that it would still be negative. Actually came in positive 10.70. So we are seeing an uptick in manufacturing in the New York State region. This was a rebound to 14.4 from negative 17.3. Delivery times lengthened slightly and supply availability continued to worsen modestly. But employment increased to 6.2 from negative 1.2. I think a lot of this might actually be seasonal pickup, if I had to guess, because we are heading into a little bit of Christmas season. We'll see how that turns out for everybody. But yeah, a little uptick there in New York Empire State. Tomorrow, guys, we got a lot of Fed speakers coming in to talk. Don't be careful of that. Be aware of it. But look, we're still sitting on all this data that we're not going to get. All this gate kept macroeconomic data. I think when this whole thing blows over with the Fed shutdown and we get all this data back, we're going to be like in information overload. It's going to be overwhelming how much stuff we're going to have to dig through. But don't worry, I'll do it for you because I got you. Me and Pam and I will go through all this data. Looking here at the Fed rate cut on October 29th, we're sitting at a 97.8% chance right now. Only 2.2% chance that we don't see a 25 basis point rate cut. Of course, jobs data might swing that a little more, or inflation might swing that a little more, but unfortunately, we don't have no data. How about October? How's it looking for us? October currently down 1.9%. It's Dumptober. Welcome to Dumptober. 1.9% in the red. Can't even hold it. Slightly green there. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. That is the guide to the $1 trillion worth of AI deals between OpenAI, NVIDIA, and others. What else do we have here? Wall Street can't seem to shake off volatility. How to generate. We might get to that one. I don't know. Maybe. And then how much you can make in 2026 and still pay zero capital gains. I have a theory about this. I'm going to go through this article real fast with OC. Come on up, OC. And then we're going to talk about this. So, we talked about the tax rates changed for 2026, and I said, look, you can bring in now $100,000 of long-term capital gains, $100,000, which means not your total. You could close out. Say you had 100% returns on $100,000. And now you have $200,000. You can pull that whole thing out. Only 100,000 of it is your gains. The other 100,000 was your money, and you would still pay 0% interest on that, guys, because under the new ones, that 0% is up to $100,000. Capital gains tax brackets. Let's bring it up here, and I'll show you. There it is, right there. So single filers for capital gains tax rate. Oh, did they change this? They may have changed this. Okay, no, here it is for married filing. It's $98,900. Excuse me, my bad. $98,900 in profits, 0%. Okay, and so I actually think that they changed this, and we'll come over here, OC. I actually think that they changed this so that people could take all their profits. We just had an amazing run in a lot of crypto. We had an amazing run in precious metals. We've had an amazing run in the stock markets. I think they want that money back into the economy, and they don't want people afraid to close out, sell stuff, because they don't want that. Oh, man, I took capital gains. They're like, look, if everybody that made $98,600 sells, no capital gains tax. You're not going to pay a penny on it, and you can put that money into the economy and return us back to some growth, right? Of course, that would boost a lot of inflation. So we got to take a look at that too, right? Supply and demand. If everyone starts to demand, we could see a return of inflation. But I think that there might be some mentality there that they want this money to rotate back into the economy and businesses. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. But yeah, 0% on 98,600 is pretty dang good in my opinion. What do you think?
I do think that is a fantastic opportunity, right? I mean, whenever we see this kind of like movements, I would say like, hey, take them or leave them, right? I mean, take advantage of that because they might not come back. I mean, as often as we imagine. I could be wrong about that, and that depends on how good or how bad are we doing on the economy. But I would say that overall rule of thumb is like never invest everything that you got, right? Never go full in, never go full out, but take advantage of those extra perks that you may get, especially from the government, right? It's always, I mean, as everywhere in the world, government always go like, hey, pay up, pay up, pay up. So whenever you have that opportunity of getting better, I don't know, interest rates, better returns, better capital gains taxes, better whatever, I would say just take it, right? Something important, and I was having a little bit of an analysis on this. I saw a couple of videos about this. It is, hey, the next and this is what you've been talking about. Would this be related to maybe the next market crashes that we might be seeing? Because you've been talking about not the actual stock market crashing, not the actual house market crashing, but the actual dollar itself crashing, right? Another stuff is, hey, are we really going to be I mean, there is a theory where the Russian advisor spoke about the US government maybe um what would that be? I don't know, exchanging the national debt into USDT and USDC, and that is because all of us might be buying those quote unquote proprietary coins. Um, on that, I mean, that is related. I think that is related on what we've been talking about, the evaluation of dollar. But long story short, or short story long, I would say it. I think, well, it is a good opportunity. It's a pretty damn good rate that you got in there. So let's take advantage of it.
Yep, absolutely, man. So I was just responding back to Alex O in Discord. So me and Alex, we always talk. Alex O and I, that's my bro, man. I love that dude. All right. Yeah. And I think that it is going to provide a lot of opportunity. I think you're right on that. Let's go take a look at Bitcoin though. Let's talk about some opportunity over there too, and then I want to get in on the AI play. I want to get on the AI play. What is everybody saying here on this poll? I want to go look at that. Let's go look at the poll. 60% are saying 125 here too. $100,000 in the next 2 weeks. 40%. This is interesting. Let's go talk about it. Let's $100,000 Bitcoin. Let's talk about it. Let's go take a look over there. I just closed that out. 30 votes, 60% saying 128K. JR said, sell me your juicy assets, sir, sir, sir. Let's go over here, take a look at this Bitcoin chart, guys, and why I do think $100,000 over 125 is in play. OC showed you earlier how the volume is just dropping right now. That is one key indicator that you guys need to be aware of. But looking here on the daily, we can see that we while we are bringing this down, we're not getting any sign of curvature yet on the MACD. Signal line is a signal ribbon is still flipped hard and wide to the downside. We're only about at the 0% line with the oscillator ribbon to come down, so there's still room there. Volume's coming down. Money flow is about to curve down again. You can see it doing a nice little curvature bounce there for downside move on the daily. And while we are down here, remember, we can come down and go sideways and not really even have to break lower yet or go higher while this resets, right? So you got to keep that in mind too. That's how RSI works. But let's take a look here. Why I think $100,000. And I showed you guys this. This is a weekly chart. The weekly looks even worse than the daily right now. Money flow has started to come down. Volume is coming down. True 7 is coming down. Oscillator ribbon is coming down. There's nothing on this chart right now on the oscillator that makes me feel bullish at all. On top of that, we are sitting right now at the bull market support band and the daily dynamic reactor. If I turn off the bull market support band, you'll see it. Daily dynamic reactor is where we currently are right now. There you go. With the doji candle. Nice doji right there. Little dragonfly getting ready to shoot down and drink some water. Where's he going to come down and drink that water at? Right there. $100,614. I think this is where we head down to. Why do I think that? Why? Well, two things. Why do I think that? And the other thing being, why is it important that we don't break that? That would be the 52-week simple moving average down there. Historically, this is where we come to for our support. Once we get it there, we bounce again. If we don't, we've got Danger Will Robinson in play, because that means that we have now broken that cycle level and it becomes resistance for downside move, and it becomes resistance with a resistance check and a downside move. That's what's led into the crypto winter on every cycle, guys. And not sure if you're tracking that, but yeah, that's what we're looking at if we don't hold that level, and that is coming in right at $100,000. Keep in mind, we've only got technically, according to historics here, of the cycles. This is based on math from the bottom of the cycle and the halvings taken into account. We've only got 21 days from last Sunday that just passed a few days ago. So 21 days, that's 3 weeks to hit that November 3rd and November 10th week. I think that there is a possibility, guys, if we do come down here and we don't hold this and we break below it, that this here was our top on September 29th, and we just cut this cycle short by a month. It's possible. I don't want to say that that is the case, but I want you guys to be aware, because we don't be scared, be prepared, right? That's what we do. I am still in a short from $126,000, just so you guys know. Have not closed that trade yet. So, OC, let's go take a look at gold and silver, because I want to talk about those two, and then we're going to get in and talk about, I got a little follow-up on gold and silver, and then we're going to go in and talk about AI. So let's go ahead and jump over. Let's take a look at that gold chart. I know you love gold. You love gold.
I love gold. So let's go and take a look at what we're left out here. I was expecting a little bit more of a patterning here, a little bit more of a structure, especially with the loud order block being right down there and having a retracement somewhere between that 30%. But seems like gold is just not caring. It is just breaking out. As you guys remember, well, looking for coming back down in here to this area, I was expecting a rejection and final move to maybe do something like that. But seems like, well, the breakout retest actually played out a little bit faster. So, I mean, gold is just going crazy. Uh, Piper, do you happen to know what's going on with gold that is just not it doesn't want to stop growing? I did see a couple of our videos out there talking about a possible exchange between gold, right? Or how everybody is buying gold instead of the US dollar and contributing to the actual devaluation of the US dollar.
Yeah, it's called the
Um,
debasement trade.
yeah, and well, at
We've
this
we've
point, it
talked about
seems
it
like
on
it
here.
doesn't want to go. Absolutely, yeah, I do remember. And well, something that I want to talk about here, it is, hey, I did see a couple of other stuff out there talking about maybe the US trying to outcast its debt into USDT and USDC. And that's maybe how they might be being able to exchange or lower those rates without losing value on the dollar itself, because then it's just not the US debt. Now, having an intermediary, they might have that opportunity, especially now that we have seen the US government buying into different companies. I don't know. I just have an idea. What if in the future, uh, the US government buys into Tether? I don't know. Maybe they get a 10% of it.
No, because it's
Not
not a U.S.
Tether
based
itself,
company.
the
They're
Tether
only
the
buying U.S.
company.
based companies. Yeah, Tether's not a Circle maybe, but not Tether because Tether is not a U.S. based company. So um, I do find it interesting though that um, we still haven't heard anything more on the gold revaluation. You remember when we were talking about that?
You're
Um,
right,
the
yes.
Federal Reserve. If you guys don't remember, if you need a refresher from that previous class, the Federal Reserve is talking about a revaluation of gold because currently all the gold that the United States has is valued at $42.22 per ounce. So, interestingly, that's what it was valued at when the government said we're no longer on the gold standard. We're going to capture all this gold from the banks and blah, 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 right? And so they gave out IOUs and $42.22 per ounce that they got from all the banks. And so the banks, because you used to be able to go to your bank and go, here, my $5, give me $5 of gold, right? No more could you do that after that changed it all over to a fiat debt based system. Um, but the Fed Reserve wants to make all of that gold valued at its true price, which is $4,200 right now, plus, right? And so if they did that, they would now take the $42.22 receipts that the banks have and give them a $4,200 receipt. And then those banks would have to pay the Fed Reserve the difference of 42.22 to 42.22 point 00, right? And so that money would all of a sudden appear in our total value, total GDP. It's an interesting way to boost our government without having to and give us a lot of money to use for things without having to take it from print it out of nowhere because that money wouldn't just be printed; it would actually go from banks. So there would be an exchange from banks to the Federal Reserve. So it's pretty interesting how that would work too. And so I think that gold evaluation, the higher it gets, the more money the U.S. can just magically auto magically get into the Federal Reserve from everyone else and everyone like, hey, it's fair, right? Like you gave us your gold. This is the value of your gold, and we're still holding your gold, but you need to give us the remaining difference. If not, if we ever do anything back to you on this gold's only worth 42.22 to you right now. So be interesting to see how that works. But yeah, that's a little factor that some people are forgetting about. So let's go back to your chart and check it out.
All right, perfect. So something important that just happened into the charts is that gold has broken the predictive ranges, basically creating a new blue line up here. Usually, when we break the purple line and look at how far those go, all the way back down to somewhere around the 22nd of September. All right. Usually, when that happens, we go and hunt that blue line. Another important thing that I'm looking into is that we have right down here our next golden line. All right, so if I just fix here and pretend that this is the predicted top, well, then you'll see that my 38.
And I think we got rugged, but we're back. So let's OC will jump in here in a minute. He's talking about that goal. It'll come back. OC will jump in here in a minute. He's talking about that goal. It'll come back. You should try Fidelity, like no fees. All right, let's go talk about this what's going on with the AI play, guys. We're going to talk about this $1 trillion. OC will be dropping back in just a second. I don't know what's going on with him there. But yeah, he said, let me see what he said here. Try again. Again. It says OT stream destroyed. Try again. I don't know what happened, but he's back now. See what's up, dude.
Oh my god, I know what happened. It gave me like OT link destroyed warning. What? It really
That's
baffled
crazy.
me.
That's crazy.
Yes.
All right, let's finish your thing, then we'll get on this $1 trillion.
All right, so really quickly that we have created a new predictive ranges, and if I update my Fibonacci and pretend that this is the top right here, we'll see that our predictive ranges, it really gets right in the middle between the 236 and 382, right? That's an excellent retracement. You guys know that I like the 33% retracement, so 33% retracement right there, and then bouncing back up to the newly created, freshly created blue line at 4,286. So for me, what makes the most logical movement will be a retracement right where we are from all the way to 4,134 to bounce to 4,285 ish. So far, I think that's what's going to be the least uh part of resistance, path of resistance. Path of least resistance, I'm sorry, for the upcoming week. So that's what I got so far, Piper.
Awesome. So we talked a little bit at the beginning of the show about the Bitcoin that was seized. If you guys aren't tracking that, we'll bring it up here. 127,000 Bitcoin seizure previously were named in Milky Sad report 2 years ago. Okay, this is the Bitcoin that the U.S. government just seized, which comes from this. What's his name here? Sorry about the flashbang, guys, but what is his name here? Files largest ever forfeiture of $15 billion currently in U.S. custody from the Prince Holding Group. It's Chen Z, also known as Vincent, multinational business conglomerate based in Cambodia. And this is from the pig butchering scams that took place a couple of years ago. Interestingly enough, on this post, go back to the post. Thank you. It says that they identified 2 years ago that there were vulnerable private keys, and now the U.S. government says they have custody of them. So everyone was talking about that. How did they get this out of wallets? Are wallets not safe? Are wallets not secure? Guys, the bottom line is that the government had knew that the keys were vulnerable 2 years ago, and they just finally knew that was the time to strike and make the move. So someone asked about that at the beginning of the show, and I said I would talk about it. So there you go. Vulnerable keys. Vulnerable. Don't let your private keys. They're only as secure as you. That's it. That's all. That's it. That's all there is to it. So let's go take a look at this though, OC, and let's talk about this. A guide to the $1 trillion worth of AI deals between OpenAI, NVIDIA, and others. This was sent to me by good old LBC, he sent this over, and this is basically talking about the data centers, power, security, and cooling. There's a lot of companies just on this. So this power, Schneider Electric, ABB, Eaton. These are just some smaller companies. They're pretty big companies. Cummins, GE, Caterpillar, there, Generac, that are going to be involved in these data centers. But how much money is going to these companies is really laid out well in this article. Let's go ahead and show this video here. I want to make sure it plays.
Artificial intelligence deals lately has been staggering.
OpenAI and AMD announcing a 5-year AI data center deal.
OpenAI has signed a $300 billion deal with Oracle for cloud computing power.
NVIDIA saying it's going to invest $100 billion in OpenAI. It's sparking a global tech rally.
Meta is paying nearly $15 billion for a Scale AI stake.
We've created a brand new industry called AI infrastructure.
Many predict that the AI boom will dramatically change how people live and work. At the center of this technical revolution are a handful of companies, which are increasingly turning to each other to finance and build out the infrastructure needed for this innovation.
Hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars are being deployed into all of this. And the reality is it's too much money for any of these entities, whether it's the GPU makers or the AI companies itself or the data centers or anyone else, to do on their own. So they all have to find different ways to kind of come together to do it.
At the center of this web of AI deals are OpenAI, the maker of the widely popular AI chatbot ChatGPT, and NVIDIA, a maker of GPUs used to power AI. Just this year, OpenAI alone has made around $1 trillion worth of AI deals. Let's take a closer look at some of these. In September, OpenAI confirmed that it would pay Oracle $300 billion for computer infrastructure over the course of 5 years. This deal is part of a $500 billion data center build-out project called Stargate, to which Japan's SoftBank Group is also contributing. OpenAI has also inked a $22 billion deal with CoreWeave for use of its data centers, which are packed with NVIDIA GPUs. OpenAI has another cloud deal with Google for an undisclosed amount. The company is also partnering with Broadcom to develop and deploy racks of OpenAI-designed chips. That deal amount is undisclosed. Part of the reason OpenAI is able to go on the shopping spree is because of a $100 billion infusion from NVIDIA, though a large portion of this investment will likely be used for leasing NVIDIA's GPUs. Microsoft has also invested about $14 billion in OpenAI since 2019. Recently, OpenAI has also announced a deal with AMD, where OpenAI agreed to purchase AMD chips in return for a stake in the chipmaker.
They're going to get to take up to a 10% stake in the company over time. So that's a pretty substantial equity investment for OpenAI.
NVIDIA has made a similar amount of intertwining deals. In addition to being a stakeholder in CoreWeave, NVIDIA has agreed to pay CoreWeave up to $6.3 billion for any of CoreWeave's unsold cloud computing capacity through 2032. CoreWeave gets most of its GPUs that it then rents out to customers from NVIDIA. Meanwhile, Oracle has purchased about $40 billion worth of NVIDIA chips to build a data center for OpenAI, which is part of the Stargate project. SoftBank has a $3 billion stake in NVIDIA. Other large tech players are also in the mix. In June, Meta invested $14 billion into data labeling company Scale AI. Meta has also paid $10 billion to Google for use of Google's cloud servers and $14 billion to CoreWeave for their AI cloud infrastructure. These are just some of the interconnected investments that have dramatically lifted the valuations of many of the companies involved and sent U.S. stock indexes to new heights.
So what I want to point out here is on this chart, and I just want to stop it there for a second. Actually, we'll stop it there and I'll go pull up this. If you guys look, you've got points, touching points. And so this is what we would do in the Intel world, what we call this link analysis. Okay, it's I2. We used to do it on Palantir and all kinds of stuff. But you got to look at the touch points, right, to find the node, the center node, right? We can see here that we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touch points on NVIDIA. We've got 4 touch points on CoreWeave. OpenAI's got the most. However, out of all these companies on here that you can actually invest into, the only ones that you can invest on this list is NVIDIA, Google, Broadcom, AMD, Oracle, Microsoft, SoftBank, and then Meta Platforms. That's it. of the ones that have touch points on them, you cannot invest in OpenAI. If you want access to invest in OpenAI, you have to go through Microsoft because Microsoft has funding points to them, right? And so if OpenAI continues to grow and do well, Microsoft gets money kicked back on it too for their valuation to go up. Really, the key player here, I think, because you can't invest in CoreWeave. If you want to invest in CoreWeave, as access here, let me pull this up. CoreWeave, in order to invest in CoreWeave, private GPU cloud provider, heavy user of NVIDIA hardware. So if you wanted to get into CoreWeave, you would have to get into the demand to NVIDIA that they're asking for. And so backed by NVIDIA, Blackstone, Fidelity, and others, they also lease capacity to OpenAI and Anthropic. So the play on that, NVIDIA is the play for that one. Play on Scale AI, which is not available publicly. NVIDIA and Meta. You guys keep seeing that these other touch points here that exist that you cannot invest into are still accessed through NVIDIA. And so that's what I'm doing to get into this $1 trillion industry, guys, is I'm focusing on NVIDIA, and I started a DCA on it myself. And I will be working like every Friday, looking at how is it looking for the week while I invest at Monday's opening. So if that's something you guys are interested in, if that's something that you're interested in, you can buy CoreWeave. Oh, is it? Well, according to what I was seeing, you couldn't. But if you can buy CoreWeave now, when did they go public, BC and Mike Play? Did they go public recently? Curious about that. Because I was looking at this here. Of course, it may be old data that she pulled. Yeah, private company. Maybe recently they went traded CoreWeave early. All right. OC, can you pull up CoreWeave for us? But what I'm doing, if you guys are interested, let me know, and I'll be putting my NVIDIA. I think NVIDIA, maybe CoreWeave. I'll grab a couple of others off of this list, but I'm going to start to do some dollar cost averaging to this. It's a $1 trillion growth industry that's worth way more than that right now, and I think that it's going to continue to grow, especially when you look at like the stuff that OC or that LBC was sending. These data centers themselves, there's a lot of companies in here too, and so we may take a look at this 6 months ago, something like that. Okay. Cool. Pam failed me on that one, but yeah, CoreWeave, evidently CRWV. You can invest in that also, and it's got a lot of touch points too. So maybe CoreWeave and NVIDIA becomes the focus point for what I'm doing with that $1 trillion play that I want to get in on. But yes, please, Alexander G said. And Melissa, yeah, I'm old. No, you're not, Melissa. You are just well aged and refined. OC, how's that CoreWeave chart looking? Let's take a look at that.
If I'm not mistaken, that should be the core one, right? Core tether right here. So not looking that fantastic. It's actually going on its way
No. It's a
down.
stock. It's a stock. CoreWeave.
All right. Let me go for it. All right. So that should be stock.
CRWV.
There we go. Oh, against NASDAQ. All right. Let's bring it up. Here it is. All right. Well, looking way different. So far, we still have lower highs. All right. This could be a ginormous dead cat bounce, depending on what happens with that development and how fast do we see results. But it's also true that if we just bring this up like this, or even like that, we have broken the trend line going above dynamic. Actually, it's not about your breakout. It's about your retest, and off we go. Not that much of volume, decreasing money flow. So that's why I was thinking, hey, maybe this could be a dead cat bouncing progress, depending on what happens with this company. If everything goes as planned, we might be seeing another push up, so a flat pause of bullish continuation, and you also will see that how our predictive ranges get compacted all the way up here. That usually indicates that we might have a little bit of a range and then a possible breakup to the upside. So looking good, looking still stable, but we still need to see how will that all evolves.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm just I'm retraining Pam right now. If you guys don't know that you have to train your AI, you do. That when she makes mistakes, you have to correct her, and then she will put that into her memory banks. And Plugged right into the memory banks. Thanks. Little song reference there for Alexander G. OC, we got about 4 minutes left. Anything you're watching on the altcoin, I'll let you get a little alt play in here.
Absolutely. I got two things I want to go over. The first earning, I did a little bit of an analysis in this, but let's go and check out a couple of altcoins before we jump into it. So something important is that we're getting very close to our entry right here from yesterday. Something that we were expecting is to jump in here. It did not happen right there, but still coming back into this possible entry. Something important about this is that we're going to be maybe having, well, breakout retest continuation. So that's why we have two alerts, another one right down there. All right. So be careful with this one. This one is not a confirmed entry. I still am waiting for this influx of strength in the U-shaped pattern. So once again, this is not a confirmed entry. Be careful with link entry right here. Another one that is looking pretty good, still stable. It is Solana. Solana, it is staying above the dynamic reactor on the 30 minutes chart. Our next entry, our first entry was here, peak performance diamond. As you can see, it played out very nicely. Our next entry is going to be as we have a flip of the ribbon and breaking through in this area, or as we're crossing above that zero line on our ADX. So keep your eyes open. Let's bring up our support and resistances. And I think, yeah, trading vids once again doing a little bit of their like lazy work, not loading this stuff. Man, you just cannot give it like half an hour without looking at it, because start dropping the RAM. The RAM. All right, something interesting that is happening here, and there is perfect, is that we do have a big spike of support right here with a money flow POC golden line support area and another area of liquidity. All right, so it would also make sense to do something like this. So let's keep an eye on this. Let's long, or let's go for a possible long somewhere around these areas. And again, the trigger is going to be, and let me push it onto this candle as we have the flip of the ribbon. Not because I set up this entry means that you just set it and forget it. No, wait for that flip of the ribbon. On the flip of the ribbon, look at where is the support, because we could absolutely be grabbing this one, or this one. All right, I'm just averaging down on the areas of entry and then execute that possible entry. For me, I'm going to add an alert right here at 196, and that's going to determine the next area for me to start looking at the charts for the V-shaped recovery on Solana. One last one is BNB. BNB actually, I was expecting a double top on BNB. It just decided to die out on me. We're having a dead cat bounce. We are below the zero line in here. The strength is not looking great. And my oscillator, my classical oscillator, where is it? Right here. It doesn't have just yet the flip of the ribbon. Remember, despite it could be up above here or down below right here, doesn't matter. What we're looking for, it is that flip of the ribbon. So more downside on BNB happening. And last but not least, Litecoin. We were talking about, hey, your next possible entry would be on the flag out. But look at this. It would say, hey, do you really want to enter? Nope. No, this is not for you. So what a shame with Litecoin. I was looking to get some Litecoin for me, but still at this point, well, we're going to be going without this entry until we start making a breakout above this resistance. So I'm going to set an alert right here at 102 and another alert right here at $90 for Litecoin. We'll see where is it start to break out and take advantage of it. So I want to go over this, Piper. Maybe you can come on. Oh, it's already 9 p.m.
It sure is. I was getting ready to tell you, OC, you got a class to go to. Yeah, guys, OCs. If you guys want to see some more stuff from OC, make sure you tune in at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Trade Setups with OC Guy. Also, he drops stuff in the Discord too. So if you're in the Discord, if you're a member, make sure you get into the Discord so you can get access to all that. OC, I appreciate you, bro. If you guys enjoyed TA with OC, smash that like button. It helps us out tremendously. And OC, we'll see you later on at in class at TA Plus on Chart Prime. So if you got Chart Prime, make sure you tune into that. And if not, they can catch you at 8 p.m. Appreciate you, bro.
My pleasure.
All right, so guys, I think I'm going to team up with BC Port Corp. We're gonna get into a little bit of that $1 trillion play. But yeah, then just to lay it out, Nvidia is where I'm focusing. Maybe CoreWeave, because there's a lot of touch points on there in that whole circle of friends. The League of Super AI Heroes. So we're gonna get in on all of that over there. BC and myself, we'll get together and figure out how we can lay out the weekly setups on that stuff. We'll pull some stuff from CNBC Pro, and he's got some great resources too, because BC is amazing with stock. So if you guys aren't watching BC, you're missing out on a lot of stock calls that he makes on Good Morning Crypto and over on his own channel, BC Port Corp. So make sure you guys get there. We'll be back here tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Of course, BC Port Corp. Hopefully, we'll be going live tomorrow morning with Good Morning Crypto. We'll be back at 10 a.m. to bring you guys the news, the charts, the markets, and everything you need to have knowledge, because knowledge is profit. We appreciate everyone joining us here today and making it through this rough morning of connections. But we'll catch you guys then. Until next time, guys. Trade safe. Use some risk management. Watch for that $100,000 Bitcoin line. If you're hoping for 125, don't be shocked if we do go down there first. So either way, we're prepared. That's what we do. Don't be scared. Guys, until next time, peace, love, profits. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to others. We're heading over to Crypto Coin Mindset. Keith and T.I. Joe over there. Make sure you drop the graduation cast. See you guys then.
That's the rap. Chart stack, data never lie. Piper led the mission, OC in the sky. Spaghetti on the screen, but the vision stay prime. Chart prime visual, signals on time. Alumni strong, we built from the grind. Lessons in the market that'll outlive time. Knowledge is profit, you know how we run. Till the next one, stay sharp, get it done.
You can't handle the truth. Emotional, damn it.
We'll see you at the next
They don't
one.
know what the fuck they're doing.
Morning market report out.
Boom shakalaka.
We'll see you at the next one. Morning market report out. We'll see you at the next one. Morning market report. Ow.
That was awesome, dude.
Hey, it didn't break. What else you got?